Mr Rochester, I thought you were not fond of children.
Nor am I.
Then what induced you to take charge of such a little doll as that? Where did you pick her up?
I did not pick her up. She was left on my hands.
You should have sent her to school.
I could not afford it. Schools are so dear.
Why, I suppose you have a governess for her. I saw a person with her just now. Is she gone? Oh no, there she is, still behind the window curtain. You pay her, of course. I should think it quite as expensive. More so, for you have them both to keep in addition.
I feared, or should I say hoped, the allusion to me would make Mr. Rochester glance my way, and I involuntarily shrank further into the shade, but he never turned his eyes. I have not considered the subject, said he indifferently, looking straight before him.
No, you men never do consider economy and common sense. You should hear Mamma on the chapter of governesses. Mary and I have had, I should think, a dozen at least in our day, half of them detestable and the rest ridiculous, and all incubi. Were they not, Mamma? Did you speak my own?
The young lady, thus claimed as the dowager's special property, reiterated her question with an explanation.
My dearest, don't mention governesses. The word makes me nervous. I have suffered a martyrdom from their incompetency and caprice. I thank heaven I have now done with them.
Mrs. Dent here bent over to the pious lady, and whispered something in her ear. I suppose from the answer elicited, it was a reminder that one of the anathematized race was present.
Tant pis, said her ladyship. I hope it may do her good.
Then, in a lower tone but still loud enough for me to hear, I notice her. I am a judge of physiognomy, and in hers I see all the faults of her class. What are they, madam? Inquired Mr. Rochester aloud.
I will tell you in your private ear, replied she,
wagging her turban 3 times with portentous significancy. But my curiosity will be past its appetite. It craves food now.
Ask Blanche, she is nearer you than I. Oh, don't refer him to me, Mamma. I have just one word to say of the whole tribe. They are a nuisance. Not that I have suffered from them. I took care to turn the tables. What tricks Theodore and I used to play on our Miss Wilsons and Mrs. Grays and Madame Joubert. Mary was always too sleepy to join in a plot with spirit. The best fun was with Madame Joubert. Miss Wilson was a poor sickly thing, lachrymose and low-spirited, not worth the trouble of vanquishing. In short, and Mrs. Gray was coarse and insensible. No blow took effect on her. But poor Madame Joubert, I see her yet in her raging passions when we had driven her to extremities. Spilt our tea, crumpled our bread and butter, tossed our books up to the ceiling, and played a charivari with the ruler and desk, the fender and fire irons. Theodore, do you remember those merry days?
Yes, to be sure I do, drawled Lord Ingram. And the poor old stick used to cry out, "Oh, you villain's child!" And then we sermonized her on the presumption of attempting to teach such clever blades as we were, when she was herself so ignorant.
We did, and Tito, you know, helped you in prosecuting your tutor. We faced Mr. Vining, the parson in the pip, as we used to call him. He and Miss Wilson took the liberty of falling in love with each other, at least Tito and I thought so. We surprised sundry tender glances and sighs, which we interpreted as tokens of la belle passion. And I promise you the public soon had the benefit of our discovery. We employed it as a sort of lever to hoist our dead weights from the house. Dear mamma there, as soon as she got an inkling of the business, found out that it was of an immoral tendency. Did you not, my lady mother? Certainly, my best, and I was quite right, depend on that. There are 1,000 reasons why liaison between governesses and tutors should never be tolerated a moment in any well-regulated house. Firstly, gracious mamma, spare us the enumeration. Au reste, we all know them. Danger of bad example to innocence of childhood, distractions and consequent neglect of duty on the part of the attached, mutual alliance and reliance, confidence, thence resulting insolence accompanying, mutiny and general blow-up. Am I right, Bernice Ingram of Ingram Park? My lily flower, you are right now, as always. Then no more need to be said. Change the subject. Emmy Ashton, not hearing or not heeding this dictum, joined in with a soft infantine tone. Louisa and I used to quiz our governess too, but she was such a good creature. She would bear anything, nothing put her out. She was never cross with us, was she, Louisa? No, never. We might do what we pleased, ransack her desk and her work-box, and turn her drawers inside out, and she was so good-natured, she would give us anything we asked for. I suppose now, said Miss Ingram, curling her lip sarcastically, we should have an abstract of the memoirs of all the governess extant. In order to avert such a visitation, I again moved the introduction of a new topic. Mr. Rochester, do you second my motion? Madam, I support you on this point as on every other. Then on me be the honour of bringing it forward. Signor Eduardo, are you in voice tonight? Donna Bianca, if you command it, I will be. Then, Signor, I lay on your sovereign behest to furbish up your lungs and other vocal organs, as they will be wanted on my royal service. Who would not be the Rizzio of so divine a Mary? A fig for Rizzio, cried she, tossing her head with all its curves, as she moved to the piano. It is my opinion the fiddler David must have been an insipid sort of fellow. I like Black Bothwell better. To my mind a man is nothing without a spice of the devil in him, and history may say what it will of James Hepburn, but I have a notion. He was just the sort of wild, fierce bandit hero whom I could have consented to gift with my hand. Gentlemen, you hear? Now, which of you must resemble Bothwell? Cried Mr. Rochester. I should say the preference lies with you, responded Colonel Dent. On my honour, I am much obliged to you, was the reply. Miss Ingram, who had now seated herself with proud grace at the piano, spreading out her snowy robes in queenly amplitude, commenced a brilliant prelude, talking meantime. She appeared to be on her high horse tonight. Both her words and her hair seemed intended to excite not only the admiration, but the amazement of her auditors. She was evidently bent on striking them as something very dashing and daring indeed. Oh, I am so sick of the young men of the present day, exclaimed she, rattling away at the instrument. Poor puny things not fit to stay a step beyond Papa's park gates, nor to go even so far without Mamma's permission and guardianship. Creatures so absorbed in care about their pretty faces and their white hands and their small feet, as if a man had anything to do with beauty, as if loveliness were not the special prerogative of a woman, her legitimate appanage and heritage. I grant an ugly woman is a blot on the fair face of creation, but as to the gentlemen, let them be solicitous to possess only strength and valour. Let their motto be, hunt, shoot, and fight. The rest is not worth a fillip. Such should be my advice were I a man. Whenever I marry, she continued after a pause which none interrupted, I am resolved my husband shall not be a rival, but a foil to me. I will suffer no competitor near the throne. I should exact an undivided homage. His devotion shall not be shared between me and the shape he sees in his mirror. Mr. Rochester, now sing, and I will play for you. I am all obedience, was the response. Here then is a courser song. Know that I dote on coursers, and for that reason sing it con spirito. Commands from Miss Ingram's lips would put spirit into a mug of milk and water. Take care, then. If you don't please me, I will shame you by showing how such things should be done.
That is offering a premium on incapacity. I shall now endeavour to fail.
Gardez-vous hein bien. If you err wilfully, I shall devise a proportionate punishment.
Miss Ingram ought to be clement, for she has it in her power to inflict a chastisement beyond mortal endurance.
Ha! Explain, commanded the lady.
Pardon me, madam, no need of explanation. Your own fine sense must inform you that one of your frowns would be a sufficient substitute for capital punishment.
Sing, said she, and again touching the piano, she commenced an accompaniment in spirit style. Now is my time to slip away, thought I, but the tones that then severed the air arrested me. Mrs. Fairfax had said Mr. Rochester possessed a fine voice. He did, a mellow powerful bass, into which he threw his own feelings, his own force, finding a way through the ear to the heart, and there waking sensation strangely. I waited till the last deep and full vibration expired, till the tide of talk, checked an instant, had resumed its flow. I then quitted my sheltered corner, and made my exit by the side door, which was fortunately near. Thence a narrow passage led into the hall. In crossing it, I perceived my sandal was loose. I stopped to tie it, kneeling down for that purpose on the mat at the foot of the staircase. I heard the dining-room door unclose. A gentleman came out. Rising hastily, I stood face to face with him. It was Mr. Rochester.
How do you do?
He asked. I'm very well, sir.
Why did you not come and speak to me in the room?
I thought I might have retorted the question on him who put it, but I will not take that freedom. I answered, I did not wish to disturb you, as you seemed engaged, sir.
What have you been doing during my absence?
Nothing particular, teaching Adele as usual.
And getting a good deal paler than you were, as I saw at first sight. What is the matter?
Nothing at all, sir.
Did you take any cold the night you half drowned me?
Not the least.
Return to the drawing-room. You are deserting too early.
I'm tired, sir. He looked at me for a minute.
And a little depressed,
he said.
What about? Tell me.
Nothing. Nothing, sir. I'm not depressed.
But I affirm that you are. So much depressed that a few more words would bring tears to your eyes. Indeed, they are there now, shining and swimming. And a bead has slipped from the lash and had fallen onto the flag. If I had time and was not in mortal dread of some prating prig of a servant passing, I would know what all this means. Well, tonight I excuse you, but understand that so long as my visitors stay, I expect you to appear in the drawing-room every evening. It is my wish. Don't neglect it. Now go and send Sophie for Adele. Good night, my...
He stopped, bit his lip, and abruptly left me.